Let's freaking do it. Welcome, Miami Dolphins fans, Miami family. Welcome to another episode of Outside the Pod with Danny, which is me. And my brother Jules is here with me. We're going to discuss some Miami Dolphins football. Anyway, now we got that out of the way. The Miami Dolphins just keep swimming, man. I mean, they're paddling around, you know what I mean? Like Nemo, one fin, but they still got it. They're still in it. They're still in it, man. But I mean, it's still a tough road. Some of this stuff we're gonna discuss, but going into Monday Night Football against the Steelers, 6-7, 4 straight wins. 6-7. Yeah, exactly. You get it. I think. I don't know. Is that what it means? I don't know. I think it means nothing. I don't know. But 6-7, 6-7. Momentum still with the Dolphins. And I mean, I couldn't say more that I've been a little bit I've been proud of the team the last couple of weeks, even though there've been some very shaky production from Tua, but you know, the rest of the team has been picking them up. And I mean, what can you say? What can you say, right? It's the team right now is winning. We talked about it last week. And the momentum's with us right now. And we're gonna talk about what's it looking like moving forward and what the chances are of continuing operation. What was it? Playoff, sneak into the playoffs. So
sneak into the playoffs, yeah.
News from last week though, after our game, Daniel Jones walked off the field. So that may somewhat help. Maybe not. I mean, they were in contention, obviously, in the AFC, but I'm not sure if it's going to play out any different for us with the Colts being maybe falling off the cliff a little bit. Phillip Rivers, maybe coming in to replace. I mean, I saw him in the newsroom. He looked like me, man. I mean, he got a little tummy, he got a little tummy going on. We just looking. Was that?
Little dad bod?
Yeah, dad bod going. I mean, he was already not like the most fit dude, right? But yeah, I mean, dude, he's looking like the oldest quarterback has ever played the game. So if he gets in the uniform, I think he's gonna look funny. But anyway, we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna prop up something so we could all take a good look of what some of the scenarios could look like coming up in the next 4 weeks and how the Dolphins could be successful and, accomplish the mission of Operation Sneak into the playoffs. But first, let's talk about last week against the Jets. It was a creaming in New Jersey, 34-10. 34-10, man. And while it sounds like, we ran away with it, mostly it was the first quarter. Right? Yeah. 21 points. It could have been 28 points. We were driving it. We were moving it down the field for the fourth time. And that's when we had some miscues, some Tua not so great throws, and lo and behold, we kicked. What was it? What is it? Punt return right after that for the touchdown for the Jets. But anyway, it was 21-0 before that. But I would like to say, before we move on, is that ACHANE had 7 carries. And again, this is the ACHANE show. Is the fan pod, fan cast, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's the ACHANE show. Sub name ACHANE show. 7 carries for 92 yards. Left in the second quarter after some bruised ribs. And Jaylen Wright came in and did well in his own right. Yeah, I'm calling that.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. 24 carries for 107 yards. And that's, I mean, defense held up their own against, Tyrod Taylor walked off. I can't remember what his injury was right off the top of my head right now, but rookie quarterback Brady Cook had to come in. First time on the field, and they just couldn't compete with the Dolphins, even though they kind of sputtered through the rest of the game. Scored another 13 points, but it was kind of a sputtering after that. No real craziness from them, and the Jets obviously could not get it going and catch up to the bodying that started from the first quarter. So the Jets looking pretty bad right now. So nothing to worry about that, right? How do you feel about this past game?
Yeah, I mean, we were worried about us playing down to the level, right? Because we've done that in the past, especially in the last couple of years or whatever. But I it was supposed to happen this way. I think us not able to adjust in the second half and maybe kind of like slowing down a little bit, is maybe worrisome. I worry that could rear its ugly head again, especially in like a do or die situation. So hopefully that's not something that becomes a trend going forward or whatever. We need really improve that as far as adjustments after the first few series. But yeah, this was a shellacking that it's how it's supposed to be, right? We need to be shellacking people
that need to be shellacked.
That need to be shellacked. Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
So we were worried about playing down to their level, but I think that it didn't happen. We did well, especially the defense and running game. I mean, this is the new identity of the Dolphins. We talked about that before. We're a running team first, and then a good defense. So hopefully that carries us far.
Yeah. We talked about it when we were chatting back and forth during the game, and it's that it seems sometimes like they start off really well, first quarter, maybe even the first half, and then they really sometimes take a huge dive after the defense adjusts, the opposing teams adjust their defensive looks. It just seems like you can't get anything going. It wasn't so much the case here, but against a good team, you probably would have seen the big difference because it started lights out in the beginning, almost no mistakes. Tua was on it. The running game was on it. Waddle was, where he needed to be. Touchdown Waddle, touchdown ACHANE, touchdown Wright, boom, boom, boom. It seemed like 5 minutes into the game, it was just, firing all cylinders. Offense was moving the ball. And then, of course, the defense was still playing at a very high level. And again, bad team, the Jets. Go ahead.
Part of it is Devon Achane leaving with the injury, right? I mean, I get it. The game plan is aimed towards having the people that you need, right? Out there, Devon Achane or whatever. It wasn't developed for Wright, right? It was developed for Devon Achane, but it's so I'll give him kind of a pass. I still think that, it needs to be a plug and play sort of thing. So I'll give him maybe half a pass, not the full pass.
Right. I got you. I mean, you can't just say that you have one running back in this league, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could never go in there with the expectation that you're going to be running that same running back in, freaking the whole game.
But so, Jaylen Wright hasn't seen more than whatever, 8 to 10 touches a game. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. I mean, he did have a few touches already. They were kind of distributing the ball from the run game even before he got hurt. Like Jaylen Wright, Ollie Gordon got in there and got a few runs, which is what I want to see more, right?
Yeah, sure.
Don't just tunnel vision on Achane and attempt to just force the ball to him. You got to give them different looks. You got to give them different ways of running the ball. These guys are all three of them are different in the way you have to tackle them and play them. And I think they need to continue to just, it's not like none of them are they're all good backs, is what I'm saying. That's a pretty damn good trio. When you're using them all, sometimes he just sits the second and the third, and they never come out. He'll put out Ollie Gordon in obvious third and short situations to get stuffed because they know, well, there's Gordon. They're gonna try to run him down the friggin' pipe.
The running game is our strength, and we should treat it as such. And I like that we're bringing in Waller. Got a handoff. Washington got a handoff. Waddle got a handoff.
Yeah. Those are cool.
A couple of those are big runs too. So
yeah,
especially Waddles, right?
But yeah, exactly. So shellacking done of the New York Jets. Coming up next is Monday Night Football with the Steelers, and we won't talk about how the matchup is going so much. We'll throw up what we want to talk about this week. We talked about it last week after the episode, and me and Jules decided that even though the road to a playoff berth is very unlikely, there is a good opportunity for us to talk about what the scenarios could look like if the Miami is able to sneak in. So let me share my screen here. Here we go. Now, I hope y'all can see somewhat well. I think that's a little better. But yeah, if anybody's not familiar with this is on ESPN.com, and it's the playoff machine. And it's kind of got the current picture right now. Actually, let me clear that because it's not the current picture. It's what I was messing with. Had the Miami Dolphins already on there. That's not the case.
Yeah.
But this is the current picture. And without trying to take too much of your time, but kind of going through some of the scenarios and kind of playing with this thing to see what are the realistic expectations of how to get in. And to be honest, I've been playing with it for a little bit, and it doesn't look good for the home team. It's not going to be easy.
No.
Number one, these guys got to win out.
Which is already a tall task, right?
Already a tall task. We got 2 games that are definitely winnable, and then 2 games that are going to be tough, right? One very tough, and this coming up Monday, which we don't do good on Mondays, in Pittsburgh, which is still is going to be pretty cold. I don't know what it's going to be like right now, but this week over here in this area, which is, not too far from Pennsylvania, we've been in the 20s at some point. And it's gonna be Monday night, so it's gonna be kind of cool. But yeah, so that's one of a tougher one. And then New England the last week. In between that, we got the Bengals week 16, and we got the Bucks week 17, who's kind of fallen off a little bit as of late. So I think those 2 middle weeks, 16, 17, are winnable for sure. Even though Joe Burrow's back, I mean, he hasn't been back that long. And I think that the Bengals are just not looking probably as expected, even with Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. So not saying this is an easy game. But the 2 tougher ones, I think, are still going to be Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football in Pittsburgh. And then week 18 in New England, in Foxborough. Cold. Absolutely. Both of them cold. The good part is, I think, did they say? I can't remember if they said if they were playing at 1 p.m. in New England.
I believe right now it's set for, it's just says TBD.
TBD still? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway. All right. So let's go through this. The realistic, and I'm just going to go real quick through AFC teams. Realistically, let's go through this and see what we kind of think will happen, and then we'll go through how the Miami Dolphins would get into the playoffs. Does that make sense, Jules?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go through the AFC real quick, especially the teams that are in the race. Buffalo and New England's matched up this week at New England. Are we in agreement? New England probably takes it.
I would agree that that they should win.
Ravens, Bengals in Cincinnati.
I'm gonna take the Bengals at home.
You think the Bengals at home?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I could agree with that. Yeah, because it's at home. Yeah. Then we got the Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are gonna win that. There's no real discussion there. In Jacksonville, right?
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
So this one's good here, and this is gonna have implications for us. Kansas City or Chargers at KC.
This is a tough one, man, because KC has not looked really good at all. But man, I don't know. The only reason I take the Chiefs here is because they're at home.
They're at home.
But
they're at home, and the Chargers are coming from LA. So another team that's kind of from a warmer, city. And yeah, Chiefs is gonna, and Kansas City is gonna be cold, no matter what. And yeah, and I mean they stack up pretty close. The Chiefs haven't been the Chiefs of recent years, but I think they still have Mahomes. They still have Andy Reid. They still have good stuff to be able to win games and probably still make a push at the end. So I'm gonna agree with you and say Kansas City. Texans take on Arizona. Easy. Cleveland loses to Bears. That I'm not too worried about that one. Colts lose to the Seahawks without Daniel Jones. Do you agree? Broncos are gonna win out.
You think?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a good one here. This is a good one, but it's at home in Colorado. I mean, Green Bay's a good team, but yeah, it's at home. And the Broncos may have the upper hand a little bit, especially on the defensive side. A little bit. Ranked third against fifth. Ranked just a little bit better on offense. So, I mean, we're talking, it should be a good game. This is a good game.
Yeah.
But absolutely. What do you think? Give it to the Broncos at home?
I give it to the Broncos just because of the defense. It's hard to go against that, against Green Bay. I think the Green Bay will struggle against that defense. So
okay. Tennessee will go down to the 49ers. We'll skip these NFC games here and here. And then just for the sake of conversation, continuing the episode in our direction, we will say that the Dolphins will beat the Steelers on Monday Night Football.
We're still kind of analyzing the path for them to the playoffs, right? And right. Winning.
Well, right now we're kind of going through the likely scenarios, right? To where like the percentage, like winning percentage, except for the Dolphins games. We're gonna continue as in they were gonna win out, right? Yeah, and hopefully they do, and I think they have a good chance. But anyway, after week 15, off of our picks, Dolphins still not in.
Right. Still in the hunt, though.
Still in the hunt. Right, right, of course.
In fact, no movement at all, with the current picture, right? I think.
No movement at all because most of these teams all win this week. Yep. Yeah. All these teams win this week.
Right.
So, it's easy to be like, first loss, we lose the game with Steelers, that's it. It's over.
Yeah, I think I was wrong. I think the Chargers and Texans do swap seeds because the Chargers we have them losing here.
Uh-huh.
Watch if you put the Chargers winning, they swap places.
Yeah. They swap places.
So that's the only movement based on these week's results, according to us right now, right?
Right. So, week 16, AFC games. Buffalo takes on the Jets probably lose to the Saints, which, we're not worried, kind of skipping that one. Buffalo beats Cleveland at home. I mean, Shador Sanders had a pretty good game. But they lose to Buffalo at home. Unless Shador, for some reason, becomes even better and he just starts slinging it. But anyway, likely outcome here is Buffalo wins. Chiefs beat Tennessee. That's easy. So another important one. And the Dallas Cowboys at home Dallas Cowboys at this point are what, 6-6 and 1, 6-6 and 1. Offensive rank number 1. Defense is struggling, bro. so hopefully they get a good defense again. Like I said, this is important. This is an important one for the Dolphins.
They've been better recently. I still think the Cowboys win here. Actually, without trying to sound, this is just my objective opinion. I think the Cowboys do win this game.
Okay. So that's good, right? Because I agree with you, and that's good for the Dolphins. So Cowboys over the Chargers at home. Dolphins beat the Bengals for sake of discussion. Again, not saying it's going to happen, but I mean, I think the Bengals are still favored against the Dolphins, but we've been playing well. Now, again, the Broncos probably winning out. Broncos against Jacksonville, better team now this time around, but again, back at home, giving it to the Broncos. Texans beat the Raiders, and they have a really easy rest of the schedule too. They're going to win out. And that's what I was saying, like, there's only one path, I think, to be honest. Steelers against Detroit at home. Detroit's not even in the running, at least not as of yet, but I would give it to Detroit at home. Would you not?
I would, yeah. I would definitely give it to Detroit here.
Okay. And then Ravens and New England in Baltimore.
This is a bit tough one. This is the one that got us flexed out of a primetime game, which sucks because I was looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
But, whatever. Whatever. If anything, it gives us a leg up, right? Because now it's a daytime game, and it's going to be, Bengals probably going to be wearing their black jerseys, and so it's going to be a bit hot for them. So, I mean, if just looking at, what could impact the game, right? But anyways, it's going to be a good one, man. But I think New England wins here. I don't think Baltimore has shown me enough recently.
No, and New England's just been such a complete team lately, man. Yeah. It's just they're just right now they're looking very good. They're looking scary. So, and then San Francisco over the Colts in Indiana, maybe.
I think so, man. Because I mean, at this point, unless Phillip Rivers comes in, like
and is his old self still able to manage the offense, I mean,
the guy's probably going to do 80%, 85% of the plays. He's going to hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. That's really what you're going to get here.
But the defense is going to know that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
So, I mean,
it doesn't bode well for the Colts, right? It just does.
So at this point, no real changes. It looks like some people moved around. It looks like the Texans went up to third seed.
The Texans, basically they have the tiebreaker at this point against Jacksonville, so they move up to the third seed because they win the division if it ended here.
Right.
So that's what happened there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And 7 and 8 Pittsburgh still in that freaking AFC North, man. Anyway.
I know.
So moving on. Week 17 of likely wins here. First AFC matchup, Kansas City and Broncos and KC. That's another good one, man. There's some pretty good matchups in the AFC that are going to have implications. So, this is a good one, though, for sure. I mean, I guess depending on how the Kansas City Chiefs are looking the next couple of weeks, you make a better decision here, right? Of who's probably gonna run away with it. Because look how the way they match up, man. It's pretty freaking even. I mean, record is a little different, right? But I think the Broncos have had a pretty skate and easy schedule. And so, but I mean, it's Kansas City. I know the Chiefs like to get a little hot a little later. What do you think?
Yeah, that's there's a lot of things that could impact the game here, right? Because the Broncos, if the Patriots keep winning also and the Broncos keep winning here, then they're still battling out for that number 1 seed and the bye. So I'm thinking they're still they're still pushing. They're still pushing, man. They're still pushing the envelope here. I know they're in Kansas City. It's gonna be wild. I mean, this game is probably the game of the week, man. This is and even though Kansas City, just record wise, is not there,
it's still Kansas City.
Yeah, still Kansas
like
City.
We just talked.
This is when they've turned it on a lot of times.
Towards the end.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I still give it to Denver because they've shown me more this year.
Okay. Okay. I could agree with that. And then another good one.
Yeah, this is a big one too.
For big, again, implications for us. Texans and Chargers in LA.
This is a tough one. But you know what, though? If it wasn't, it will, by the way, Jaylen Hurts, bro, this was probably the first dagger that we got, last week was Philadelphia losing to the Chargers. Man, they basically Hurts handed it to the Chargers this week, man. It sucked. And this
I wasn't even thinking about that one.
It was a bad blow to us, man. It was a bad blow. I didn't think that would happen. I thought that the Eagles had a little bit more. I thought Hurts was going to have a better game, and that was terrible. But I really like the Houston Texans defense. So this is a very winnable.
This is number one defense. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like that because I don't think they match up well. I don't think Herbert, even though he did what he did against the Eagles, got sacked a million times and still was able to make a couple of plays, enough plays. But of course, I mean, the Eagles just handing the ball to them all game. That doesn't.
And the thing
anybody can beat them at that point.
Right. LA and what is it, SoFi? It's not really the Chargers' home, bro. They're kind of like the bastard team. You know what I mean? Right, so they don't really have home advantage, dude. Especially because the LA fans, both for the Ram and for the Chargers, they're kind of fair weather fans, dude. They kind of just go because, freaking, I don't know, Robert De Niro, whoever invited them and bought tickets for a family and they all went. They're not really fans. You know what I mean? So I would like to see a good showing from Texas fans in LA. I think it's going to happen. It's going to be like 50-50. It's not going to be like, they don't have the advantage as like Green Bay or Chicago or like those places that have like those old fan bases that are, if you go to Kansas City, it's just going to be red, bro. You're not, you know what I mean? You're going to have a couple of little freaking aqua dots in there, but it ain't going to be 50-50 like this game is going to be. And that's what I'm saying, like their home field advantage is not that much of an advantage for the Chargers, especially good weather in LA. Which is, it doesn't really matter because of that thing is a dome basically in SoFi. So I think we're going Texans. So anyway, not to get too long in the tooth with that one. The Steelers beat Cleveland. I think you could agree with that. New England over the Jets. That's an easy one. Moving on to the Colts and Jacksonville. That's another pretty good one. Because Daniel Jones is out, though, I'm giving the upper hand to Jacksonville. What do you think?
Yeah, I think
because that 6 right there is no longer a 6 without Daniel Jones.
Exactly. And the Jaguars have a pretty good defense too. So I think that even though we have yet to see what Philip Rivers can bring to the table, right now on paper doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for them. So I think the Jaguars take this one on the road.
Okay. Yeah. Dolphins over the Bucs in Miami. Not too much to say there. We're hoping that's going to be the case, and for the sake of this episode, that's going to be the case for now. And then I think Bengals are going to win here. Philly and Buffalo. In Buffalo.
You know what? After what I saw Monday, I don't think the Eagles have.
They're not going to be in it.
They're not going to win this one. They're not going to be in this game. I think Buffalo wins here.
Okay, I could agree with that. And then it looks like that's it for this week. Not too much movement, I think. Did the Chargers fall to 7 from 6 to 7? I believe.
No, that was the same.
Okay, so everything's the same then.
Yep.
It looks like. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on. Week 18. Starting with Chargers at Broncos. I'm telling this is so. Yeah. So Chargers at Broncos.
Man, I mean, it all depends. I think if the the Broncos have the number 1 seed locked up here, this could be a bad thing for for the Broncos and for us, because they'll probably be resting some starters here. The only way that this could be,
well, they get but they get a bye, man. Like what? Yeah, I guess they won't, man.
That's the only thing. So it depends on what times our games are at. You know what I mean? Like if, let's say, our game's earlier than the Broncos, because I can't remember what time the Broncos and Chargers are supposed to play that day. Let me take a week 18. They're probably TBD just like us, man.
Yeah, they're TBD. Yeah.
So it just depends on where they line up as far as the time is concerned. If we're earlier and we beat the Patriots already, and the Patriots are already out of the number 1 seed, then that could happen. You know, we can wind up watching the Chargers at Broncos game and thinking, man, these fuckers are sitting everyone. You know, they didn't even try. Then I think they have a pretty good defense and defensive depth to beat the Chargers, even with that, because they're at home and everything. They might.
Who's the backup quarterback in Denver?
Fuck if I know. K. McCown. I don't know. I don't really know.
Jarrett Stidham.
No, he's all right.
He's not terrible. He's got experience. He's got experience. So if they already know that he's gonna sit too, he's gonna practice with the ones or whoever's gonna be playing that. So they're gonna be kind of ready to go. It's not like he's gonna be thrown in there. You know what I mean? So that's a good part.
Yeah, I hate that.
But let's say they do play. As the team stands, I would give it to the Broncos.
Yeah.
Right? So Chiefs over the Raiders, Dolphins over the New England Patriots, we hope. Mm-hmm. It could happen. But this one's in New England, so this is very tough. This is very unlikely. But for the sake of our conversation, this is the game where it definitely could be tough. But we talked about it before, right? If they're already in, they're already clinched whatever spot they end up in. They may sit a few players also. And so maybe it gives us the opportunity to sneak in and continue. So if we get to that point. Ravens at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh right now has the upper hand. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Texans over the Colts at home. Yes. Bengals over Cleveland at home. Yes. Mm-hmm. Buffalo over the Jets. Yes. And then Jacksonville over Tennessee. Yes. So the only unlikely that we touched was the Dolphins in New England, I think.
You think so? That's the one?
Well, and I was going to go back through it and say, what scenario, this is the likely scenario, and what scenario do the Dolphins get in? But we already know that. I think the only scenario is that the Dolphins win out and the Chargers lose out. That's which other way? I can't think of any other way. I mean, it could be any of the other teams. It could be Texans lose out, but they're not gonna. We already looked at who were they playing in week 15. They're playing the Cardinals. No. In week 16, they're playing the Raiders. No. In week 17, they're playing the Chargers. Okay, maybe, but we already have 2 no's. They're gonna win 2 games for sure. So they're not going to lose out. Buffalo Bills are not going to lose out. They play the Jets. So they probably lose to New England.
They don't need to lose out, though.
The Bills don't?
Bills don't. There's a scenario where Buffalo's 10-7 and we have the tiebreaker against them. There is a scenario like that, but then it's unlikely.
But it's unlikely again. So they already lost to the New England Patriots. Are they gonna lose to the Cleveland? No, they're not. Are they gonna lose to? Are they gonna lose to the Eagles? They could lose to the Eagles. Maybe the Eagles push their way to 7 points.
And that's what we're saying. I think they losing against the Eagles and Browns.
Okay, so let's say they lose against the Eagles, and then they lose against the Browns too. The Browns get lucky with Shador. Okay, sure. And then week 18, who they got? The Jets. The Jets are not gonna get lucky. Okay, so they're both 10-7, and we get and you're saying, we get the 6th seed.
We actually get we have the tiebreaker there against them. But I'm saying, what I was saying is, let's say the Chargers won a game, then this is still a scenario. Like
let's say the Chargers win against, let's see, which one's their most likely win? Dallas maybe?
I don't think
Dallas.
So.
No?
No.
You think your most likely is Kansas City? I mean, look at them, bro. Like Kansas City, Dallas,
I think
Texans.
The one at home against the Texans is probably the one that.
Okay, so let's say that.
Has me, see? So that's what I'm saying.
And we kick out the Buffalo Bills at that point. If they lose too.
That's what I'm saying, is like, this is the other alternative in case the Chargers don't lose
End up winning the game. Yeah. And the thing is that's not impossible also. I think still the hardest point is for us to beat New England when we get there.
Winning out, I think, is still
the hardest part.
Probably the hardest thing, because we got to go to Pittsburgh and New England. And historically, we sucked ass there. But there is some differences. Why? Because we are now a running and defensive team.
Yeah. Before it was just offense.
Before it was just, score 40 points, which it always happens. Offenses slow down in colder weather.
Yeah.
Right.
And so late in the season, they're getting tired and banged up.
Yeah. So that was, with this new identity of ours, I think it bodes better for us in playing in the cold. We already kind of touched on it with the Jets, even though it wasn't that cold. It was still in the lower 40s. And, they did pretty well. I know it's going to be in the 20s probably in Pittsburgh. It's probably going to be in the 20s in New England or whatever. Probably some snow. Maybe. And, so yes, harder. But now that we have a pretty good running game, we're more reliant on the running game, and we have a better defense. And a lot of this stuff, I mean, we were close in a couple of those games, but our defense just wasn't strong enough. They weren't tough enough. They weren't aggressive enough.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a hard question, because I kind of want to put everybody that's watching the episode, I want to sit you down and not get you too excited. So I'm going to ask you a hard question.
Yeah.
Devil's advocate. Where do you think, be objective here, where do you think our first dagger is going to come? Where is it going to end? Monday Night Football?
I still think we have enough to win all of these games. If we keep playing like we have been playing, we should win these games. So the dagger is going to come from the lack of help somewhere else, unfortunately.
You think so?
We don't control our own destiny here. And there's too many variables.
Yeah.
There's too many, like something like this Monday with Philadelphia losing there. It was one thing that I couldn't predict. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And again,
I didn't think about it too much then. I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, dude.
No, but now it's like, now that I've been playing with this a little bit longer now, and it's like, yeah, you're right. That game with the Eagles and the Chargers, it would have put it a lot easier. The road would have been a lot easier.
Right, and there was a pathway for us to even get into the playoffs at 9-8, even.
Yeah,
if the Chargers would have lost that game. But now No, it's not. It's not a thing.
Well, I mean, I think both scenarios that we just talked about in ways that they would get in and kick Buffalo out, that would be beautiful. I'm really rooting for Shedeur Sanders now. Yeah. But there's a lot of football to watch. You know, before I've kind of been off a little bit. I've been watching the Dolphins, maybe the Patriots because my wife. But I definitely don't watch too much other football besides them. This week or for the following, as long as the Dolphins are, you know, continue to be in there, I think I'm going to be watching a lot of football because a lot of these games are good. Number one, are good. And then they have implications for us, like, you know, especially the Chargers. The Chargers are going to be on my TV for the rest of the season, as long as it continues to kind of kick the operation down the road, right? So, but yeah, Julio thinks, or Jules thinks, that the dagger won't come until the end, basically, when well, wait, what are you saying? Were you saying until the end, or just which game do you think the dagger's going to go? Like, where are we not going to get help?
Exactly which game?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to ask.
Let me look at here. I think.
Do you think because it would have to be the Raiders? I mean the Chargers.
The Chargers.
Yeah, it has to be the Chargers winning.
It's not just like the probability. You know, we're looking at this in what we think is going to happen, because on paper, I just feel like one of these games is just not gonna go like the way we're seeing. Just like we did last Monday.
Yeah,
so that was really my point.
Yeah.
So like, I think Chargers at Kansas City is
but it still has to be the Chargers.
Yeah, it would probably be the Chargers more so than anything, because I think they have the easier, and you know, because they're at home against the Texans, so that even though, you know, and then they still have to play. They have to play the Cowboys too. I mean, that's always unpredictable to me, because the Cowboys are just the Cowboys, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they haven't. Their defense is just so bad. Well, at least it's ranked bad. But I mean, like you said, they might have been doing a little better lately. But yeah, I think in Week 16 when they played the Cowboys, that could be the one. I think that's the one that I'm gonna go with.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's against the Steelers. I don't want to put that in the air. I don't. But so besides that, I'm gonna say this game right here is where the Cowboys could jack it up and just do cowboy things, and just you know, like Dak Prescott does something dumb. I don't know. Even though, I mean, he plays well. But yeah, the Cowboys, I feel like, may ruin our season. Looking forward, at least. And that sucks, because I would like to be excited about every game throughout the rest of the thing here. So we did cover a couple of scenarios of which couple of ways that the Miami Dolphins could make the playoffs, sneak into the playoffs. There's a lot of football that us Dolphin fans could be watching the Buffalo Bills, watching Shedeur Sanders against the Buffalo Bills, and for sure watching the Chargers probably every game until they win, basically, and hoping that they continue to lose and we continue to win. I think that's our most likely outcome if we're gonna sneak in. It's probably because of their schedule, of their remaining schedule, not because they're the lesser of the team. I don't think that's the case. I think the Houston Texans have a really easy rest of the schedule, and the Buffalo Bills have a couple of games that they're just not gonna lose. So I'm looking to the Chargers to hopefully lose the rest of the time and us win out, and I think that's our most likely outcome as far as making the playoffs. Yeah, so I hope everybody's gonna be watching. I'm sure you are. If you're a real Dolphins fan like we are, you're all gonna be watching just like we are. And hey, just catch us on Twitter or an X, whatever it calls. I'll probably be tweeting on there about the games, to include the Chargers. So follow us, leave us a comment for this episode. Like and subscribe and support the channel. and we'll give you some content, a couple of times out of the week, or maybe once out of the week, really. But yeah, let's continue it on. Get in the conversation. Leave us a comment, like and subscribe. Thank you all for hanging out with us and checking out our channel. Fins up. We'll catch you next week.
Fins up.